Jersey Shore was a legend, man. That was such a classic.
They were inspirations.
Yeah, exactly. They were the foundation of today's like reality TV.
Yeah.
Like the
minus
level.
the tan, I live GTL.
Exactly.
Have we started? We started a long time ago? Or?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, okay. So
let's just roll. Like, there's no plan here. There's no plan today. I think sometimes it's good to have conversation where it's just like there's nothing.
Yeah.
But last time you were here, that was like years ago.
Yeah, it was in the long hair days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I think it was quite at the beginning of the podcast as well.
Was it?
Yeah, we didn't have a studio yet, so you had to set up
in the meeting room
every single time in a meeting room.
You had to set that up every time?
Yeah, because it was people like working there. So I had to basically ask them to be like, hey, can you work from home or something like that? Or go somewhere else? And then we have to do the podcast here, yeah.
Yeah, this is luxury then.
Yeah, this is a lot better.
I hate to be one of those guys who comments on the room, but it's dope.
Yeah.
I don't know, has anybody, I guess everybody has. They come sit here and the moment you start recording, they compliment you on the room and
yeah, it's
you have
pretty
that same
cool.
conversation over and over.
No, I never get tired of talking about it. Like I think I could do that as a job, to be honest.
Yeah?
Like setting up studios and stuff, because it's really, really fun.
I'm gonna have to consult with you to set up my
my
studio.
But if you have, really depends on your budget.
Yeah.
But if you have
about that, I spent it all on car parts.
Exactly. But for us, it was like whatever we have in the store.
Yeah,
we can use. We can just
that's
have.
Cool.
And we painted. We got someone else to paint, but we decided to color like the plates, everything like that, and like the setup especially. Like I got more or less free range to just do whatever I want with the room, and I like dark colors a lot more than bright.
Agreed.
Because we were supposed to, like, the idea was to have kind of like replicate the colors that we have in the logos and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was like, they're too bright. We need to dim them down a bit.
Yeah.
So like dark blue, especially because it doesn't reflect the light. And like,
yeah, true. Yeah, I don't see any reflections in any of the shots. I mean,
exactly. And like the oak from the table as well, like the wood needs to be a bit dark as well. And like the dark green plants, the dark background.
Did you build this table?
We order it and then we put it together.
Okay.
Yeah.
That counts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some screws were turned.
Yeah, exactly. I turned some screws and that was it, basically. But I wanted a big table.
Yeah.
Like a big one. Because you could choose like a really small one. We had a small one earlier, but I wanted a big one.
Yeah, just in case Mike Tyson punches you.
Exactly. Get a bigger one.
This whole thing is just going to be Joe Rogan.
Exactly. Now, the reason was like, just in terms of like when you're packing a bag, it's just nice to like put everything out. And like when sometimes we do need a lot of space. And the table we had in the old studio was just really, really small.
Yeah.
And we wanted like, it wasn't like enough space, especially if we're going to have like 4 people here on a podcast, for example.
Couple plants.
Yeah.
Some sunglasses.
Yeah. It's just somewhere to put your stuff when you're working as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do you spend time in here outside of the podcast? You just
when we're
sometimes?
No, just when we're filming and stuff. Like we use it as a meeting room sometimes, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Like if all the meeting rooms are booked, people just sit here.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
The lighting is rad too. I like this UFO in the middle.
Yeah, it's we needed to set everything up in the, we couldn't have any lights or anything like that on the floor.
Yeah.
It all needed to be like set up permanently. And the only light that kind of works is the lantern.
Yeah.
Which is like a 360 light basically.
Yeah, yeah.
So it lights up everyone who sits around the table quite nicely.
Yeah, it's nice. It works well.
And then there's 2 other lights on the side.
Yeah.
That kind of works like if we need them, extra.
Yeah.
But the main light is the one on top of us.
I assume I'm blowing out some of the cameras with how white I've become over the winter. Not that I ever get not white, but I'm just looking at myself in that like, damn, my skin is bright.
Yeah, because you don't travel that much anymore, do you?
No.
No.
I was supposed to be in Germany today.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, this is a hard story. This hurt a lot. 2 days ago, let's put it this way. On Friday, I have a shoot booked at Rudskogen at the racetrack with Aston Martin. And I guess, is this coming out after Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're shooting the Aston Martin Valkyrie.
Wow.
On track, which is like 35 million kroner car, insane car, like a bucket list thing, just to hear it start up and drive. And then 2 days ago, Porsche called me and said, or Porsche Norway, and said, hey, we have an extra spot for a Porsche experience that the person just dropped out of, but you got to leave tomorrow.
Ooh.
Like, shit, okay. Tomorrow, maybe I do like 1 night, 2 nights, and then I come back on Thursday and all good. She's like, no, you're coming back on Friday. Fuck. Okay, so what is it? Before I said no, I said, what is it? What am I doing? And she explained it. And it's, you pick up a car in Stuttgart from the Porsche like headquarters. You drive the car through the Black Forest, super rad roads, really cool food, 5-star hotels the whole way. And then you bring the car back to Stuttgart and you just fly home. And then on Friday after the shoot, I'm supposed to drive to Lardal to shoot with Porsche again. So I was just, it's such a hard decision. Saying no to that was probably the hardest thing I'll have to do in a long time. But I'm excited for Friday. Friday's going to be dope. But man.
It's still a luxury though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine like a couple of years ago, you saying no to something like that.
That's the weird thing.
It's weird, isn't it?
I shouldn't be this sad about having these options.
Exactly.
It's so dumb.
Just having those options at all is insane.
Yeah.
The fact that you're like like double booked.
But it's just so painful.
Yeah.
It's so painful. It's like, you know the movie Sophie's Choice? It's, I have to kill one of my kids.
Exactly like that, yeah.
I'm going to have to murder one, but it feels like I have to strangle it while I'm making eye contact. It's brutal. But no, I think it worked out in the end. So the girl who asked me to go ended up just taking the ticket herself, and now she's
she's having a good time now.
Yeah. So at least it wasn't my competition who got to go.
Right.
Because that would have killed me.
Maybe she didn't really want you to say yes, but she had to like offer it to you. But it's
I told her.
Yeah.
I was like, well, since I go, you should just take it.
Yeah.
And like, of course, when I'm in that position, I feel like, I'm giving her this opportunity. But you know she was thinking about it way ahead.
Of course, yeah.
She was like, please say no, please say no.
She had to ask you, but
She's
it's like, she didn't really.
She's like, I didn't think about that. And
yeah, of course.
No, that's a good idea. I was so stupid. I bit into that. I was so gullible.
So let's talk about the car photography, because were you into that the last time we spoke?
Kind of. I mean, cars have always been maybe my number 1 or number 2 interest.
Yeah.
Cars and photography, back to back, storytelling. And so it was always something I wanted to do more. And when COVID hit, was it that long ago that we talked? COVID?
Well, we did like the video where you took pictures of the Porsche, but like the podcast, that was like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, it was. Okay, so when COVID hit on March 11th of 2020, I remember this day because it was one of the worst days.
And you got it as well early, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, I remember.
So I had it from a shoot like 3 or 4 days before that. I was shooting with a Norwegian air ambulance in a helicopter, and a guy next to me in the helicopter had it.
Yeah.
So I had the, sorry, I'm slamming the table all the time. I had the Alpha variant, the first one. And I was sick on the couch on March 11th. And that was the day that they decided to lock everything down. They weren't testing because there's too many people who wanted to test. And they just decided, you know what, fuck it, we're just going to close everything. And then...
We all remember.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers that day, man.
Addicted to painting the picture.
That was brutal.
That same day, I had about 5 or 6 shoots lined up that month, those coming weeks. That same day, like that one day, all 5 of them called me and canceled separately. Like, within an hour. And I could barely talk because my throat was gone. I was just laying on the couch. And that was like, I think I watched like 150 to 200,000 kroner just disappear that day.
Jeez.
But some of those shoots, I was sitting there just thinking, like, why am I missing some of these shoots? Because they're like with like hotels, shooting hotel rooms and stuff. And I'm not that guy.
No.
I did that for the money, and it wasn't fun. It was never fun. Stuff like shooting food in a restaurant, but like you don't get to set up lighting. You just have to shoot it where it is before they give it out to the... So decided then that when I got healthy, I was going to go after things that I actually wanted to do.
Pivot a bit.
Yep. And I was talking before that to like Porsche Center Oscar and Bottom, who was super cool. And we decided we would start kind of an idea in Norway that nobody was really doing beforehand, or not many people, where they would loan a car in exchange for some photos. I would get to practice, and they would get some sort of like social media fluff. So there was no commercial value in it. There was no like real value in it up for them other than one social media post. And that was kind of the inception of that idea. And from there, I wanted to go into like Porsche Norway and grow and grow and grow. And then that sort of became a whole industry in itself. And now it's like 30 people in Norway doing the same thing.
That's cool.
So it's, yeah, that I kind of over embellished, but that was the start of the car photography for me. That's when I realized, fuck it. Like I'm doing too many things I don't care about. I don't like. It's time to just focus on what I want to do.
So you just basically reached out, like there was nothing else to do basically for anyone.
Yeah.
Like everything was locked down, and be like, yeah, some people might see it as like an obstacle. You saw opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. It was an opportunity to change myself, to change the way I thought about photography and the way I thought, because it becomes a job, right? At a certain point.
Yeah, man.
Not only like the back end stuff, like the accounting, the cleanup work, the rigging, all the planning, logistics. Like I'm a producer in myself. I'm an accountant. I'm all these things. But it also becomes a job just to shoot some of these things because they're not always fun, but there's always money in it. And a tip that I got a long time ago is that if you don't want to do the shoot, double the price.
Yep.
But people still say yes to these things.
That's the problem sometimes.
And it's still work.
You can't say no then.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
then you've offered your services for a price and they say yes.
Yep.
And then they book you.
Yep.
Like
Then
that's
you
it.
hate yourself.
Yeah.
You hate yourself on the day. You wish you were doing something else. And then you're looking at other photographers on Instagram and they're shooting cars or going on trips. And it just like eats you.
What I do then is I promise myself that I'm going to spend that money on something that I really want to do.
Okay.
Like a trip or something like that.
Yeah.
Say I want to go surfing for a week,
Yeah.
but I don't have the money for it. I need like 10,000 kroners for a trip, right?
Does that work in the long run though? I feel like
Sometimes, but it's
saving
like
money with that mentality is so hard.
yeah. No, but like sometimes it works. It gives you motivation on the day.
Yeah.
If you're doing an event, for example, that's super boring. And you'd be like, you're just counting down the minutes basically. But the second you're done and you get to send the invoice, be like, book the trip right away.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't wait. Just you have to set aside that money. If you have the opportunity to do it,
Yeah.
to like set aside the money, just get yourself something fun.
I'm
Shoot
too
yourself.
irresponsible. I'm too reckless because then I spend not only that money, I spend the tax money from that shoot.
Right, yeah,
I spend the sales tax
Yeah.
money that I'm holding on to. It gets out of hand.
Exactly, yeah. Well, it can happen like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important, especially when you come to a certain point in your career, if you're able to select jobs based on what you think is fun, like that's the goal, isn't it?
Yes. And that's pretty close to where I'm at. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that I don't show that's not fun. Just is what it is. But
Yeah.
it's a job and I got to make money.
Yeah,
So
of course.
it is what it is. Also, the car market in Norway is like, it's gone. You can't be a full-time professional car photographer in Norway. There's no chance.
No.
There's too many kids who are just trying to borrow cars and shoot for free. And like they're sniping jobs out there like
Right.
crazy. There's a lot of snakes. But the problem is they're good people and we all have the same interests. That's the hard part. We all love cars. We all love photography. But
And
like,
you want to build up your portfolio as well.
yeah. But it gets to a certain point where like I had this, I'm not going to mention his name, but he's super nice. He's a really, really good photographer. And it's fun watching him get better. And he's trying to get into the industry like pretty aggressively. And he sent me a message on Instagram and said, "Hey, are you going to Rudskogen on this day?" I was like, "Yeah, I was hired by Porsche to be there. I'm the photographer. It's kind of my thing." Which, I mean, he may not have known, whatever. And then he was like, "Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll be there too. I'll see you there." I was like, "Well, okay. Well, you're there in what capacity?"
Yeah.
Like, "Well, I'm just going to shoot some photos and send it to Porsche and see what they think." But this this is a shoot. Like
Yeah.
this is my job. I'm hired here to work. If you want to take my client, there's other ways to do it, right? You go shoot cars and prove that you can do it, and then send them the photos when I'm not looking. But the moment you go up to the client and shake their hand while I'm standing right there shooting photos for work, like, how am I supposed to take that?
Yeah.
That's nobody wins in that situation. And the client knows it too. The client sees that you're trying to steal work, and it's never going to work. It's never going to work. But people still try to do it. But we had a good conversation. He was super nice about it, and we made friends.
Well, I guess he didn't know. Like he didn't
Yeah.
think that was like a
Yeah.
bad thing to do. But it's like you just gotta like talk about it
Yeah.
openly, I guess.
And one thing that I recommended and that I recommend to everybody is like go to the photographer. Don't go to the client. So if you want to shoot with Porsche or something, you know somebody's already shooting with them, go to the photographer, try to hang with them. That sounds stupid. But just ask if they need assistance, like offer a hand on set. And typically we do. Like I always have an assistant with me, but I tend to be consistent with the assistants that I use.
But you're hosting some like events as well, aren't you? With Sony.
Yes. Yeah. And
like
without
Cars and Coffee.
Yes. Yeah, dude, that's been a fun thing. Like I said, we there's a lot of competition in the scene, but we all are like the same person. We all have the same interests. We love photography. We love cars. I want to get us together and shoot together instead of shooting behind each other's backs and competing and reaching out to the same clients. So what I've been trying to do is get cars, put them in cool locations, and just call people and be like, hey, I'm going to have a car here, or put it on Instagram, and hopefully people just show up and come shoot.
Yeah.
That's been fun.
Yeah.
That's been fun. That's something I want to do a lot more of, and I want to make it more like a car meet. So it's not just one car, it's 50 cars. So I've tried both individually. I tried the one where I bring one car and then everybody comes and shoots it with my lights and my setup, and I instruct whenever they want it. And then I also tried a car meet, like Cars and Coffee. That was last weekend. Super fun. Super fun. So me and Evan Malem are going to start to expand that concept and do it more and more consistently.
And I guess if you got like a really cool car as well,
Yeah.
you could just show up.
Yeah, but all
And
cars
get
are
them.
also welcome. Like all cars are welcome.
Right.
Like, if you like cars, you like not only the mechanics of how like gears interact with each other, how efficiency, how exhaust, just watching how different companies solve the same problems.
Yeah.
But you also just have an appreciation for the fact that you're moving faster than you wouldn't be moving otherwise.
Exactly.
So even if it's like a Prius or something, like it's fun.
It's
As
all
long as
welcome.
you're proud of the car, like bring it.
Yeah.
Bring it and own it, and let's have a good time.
Because I remember we were at the Porsche the store.
Yep. And Oscar and Bottom.
Yeah. And you gave me like a small tour of like all the cars there.
Yeah.
And I said to you, like, you explain every car in detail. And
Yeah.
I said to you, it's like, mate, you're talking to the wrong person here.
That's every conversation with my girlfriend. Every single conversation.
Because I'm not in that space
Yeah.
at all. I don't own a car. Like,
you don't own a car.
No.
Okay.
I don't have
Yeah.
a car. I have a bike.
You're the poster child for Oslo.
Exactly.
But you can bike way faster and further than some cars I can drive.
Probably.
You're in shape. I'm not. I'm still a little bit fat from winter.
Exactly.
So I'll stay away from the bike for a little bit.
Yeah, it has its benefits and it has its disadvantages, of course.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not in the space, but hearing someone talk about it and like seeing someone talk about it with passion is really, really fun.
It can get weird.
Yeah, but like it doesn't matter if it's like whatever passion you have and you connect that with photography is amazing. I think that's like the best space you can be in.
Yeah.
It can be food, it can be whatever.
Yeah.
But like when you find that, like you said, like, you know, it's all just for fun. Like that's the goal.
Yeah.
100%.
Exactly. Watching somebody be passionate and letting them explain their passions.
Yeah. But like if
super
I
fun
would
to listen
if
to.
I would take pictures of cars, I think it'd be kind of boring.
Okay.
But
yeah. That's wild for me to hear.
exactly.
So interesting.
But yeah, it's it can be fun, but it's like I did one shoot was like I drove from here to Hotevik on the west coast.
Yeah, I think we talked about this last
Yeah,
podcast.
it was like a surf trip. And I took a car with me It was like a camper van, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, you know, you can take the car for a week if you take some pictures of it. I'd be like, yeah, of course, you know, because renting a car for a week costs a lot of money.
It's very expensive.
So I got the car for free. But I was like, it wasn't like an effort, but it was like, you know,
yeah,
it wasn't like the main thing that I wanted to do on the trip. But, you know, it was fun. I got like a car for free for a week.
Yeah, and it's photography, right? And even if you're not focused on the car, you can focus on the lifestyle.
I focused on the landscape a lot because that was like the whole thing.
That's
it was
cool.
like the car is just like, you know, a thing in the landscape.
Yeah.
But like find some really good landscape. And that's quite easy when you're driving
In
that.
Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're like driving, you know, through the mountains and to the coast.
Yeah.
It's quite easy to find nice spaces to take pictures.
Yeah. Especially out there.
Yeah. So like more or less, like every hour I would just stop alongside the road.
Yep.
Take some pictures of the car and keep going.
Yeah.
That was basically it.
Yeah.
And that saved me a lot of money.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
And a week is a long time
Yeah.
to have a car. Yeah. A lot of these, unless it's like a press car where you're going to write an article or something about it, most of these companies will just give you like 2 days, 1 day.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. As long as they can put red plates on it.
Because I remember like when we met during the pandemic we did a video where you were shooting a car using like lights and stuff, and we're going to get into that, but you spent the entire night taking pictures of it, didn't you?
Yes.
And like the next morning as well.
Yep.
Because you had
I woke
it
up
for
at
like
4 o'clock the next morning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To get the lighting perfectness. But you had like 24 hours or something.
24 hours.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you got to use...
Picked it up, shot it first with you.
And then we had McDonald's.
Yeah. No, I didn't shoot it first with you. I shot it first with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Just to like make sure I got good pictures.
Yeah.
And then from there I wanted to play around.
Yeah.
So I shot it with you and we tried a few things with lighting. And then woke up we were done at like midnight or something.
Yeah, quite late.
Yeah.
It went to McDonald's.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
having to reach up versus reach down to get your burger. That's a cool feeling.
Did McDrive with like a Porsche. It was, and yeah, we had to drive really carefully over the speed bumps.
Yeah,
because it was so low.
That was one of the first cars I ever got to borrow.
Oh, really?
That might have been the first one.
Really?
That was That's such a like scary moment.
Yeah.
That's an expensive car.
Really? It had a price tag on it. I remember that.
Yeah.
It was like, that was a lot of numbers, man.
Yeah.
It looked like a phone number.
That was probably like 2 million,
like
something flat.
Yeah.
It's a good car. I killed a bird with that car.
Really?
Yeah, murdered. Just
Oh.
hit the front of the car and exploded.
Oh, shit.
I was doing an undisclosed speed in an undisclosed location and saw the bird, just feathers everywhere.
Popped.
And then every time I was editing the car, I had to Photoshop out blood and guts off the car. That was great. Very satisfying.
But explain the lighting setup that you did in the video, though. Because we had 2 lights, but you used basically one.
Yes. So I think most photographers, especially when they're young, I'm relatively young in the car photography world. Like I'm still learning a lot. They tend to overdo it, especially if you have a lot of lights. You would just set them up like randomly, and then you're not thinking. My mentality is think one light at a time.
Yeah.
The first light I always think about is the ambient light. What's the light I can't change? So if we were shooting in this room, I would say the ambient light is like the sign, because you can't dim it. There's nothing you can do about it. So you start with that, one frame, get it on a tripod so the camera doesn't move between frames, and then you expose for that perfectly. Then when you bring in an extra light, that light has to complement the one that's already there. That light can't add anything new. It just sort of has to help tell the story. That's why having one light and just taking multiple frames with one light helps so much, because you can take the photo, really look at where that light hits. Because sometimes if you have 2 lights, you can't tell where they overlap. And if you can't tell where they overlap, you don't know how they're affecting each other. So one light, pull it around. And I think we ended up using like 3 or 4 different shots, maybe 5. So 5 lights technically, but they weren't all there at the same time.
Yeah. You just set up the camera on the tripod, and you didn't move the camera, and you used your phone to take pictures of it.
That way you can move the lights yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And you just moved the lights to where you wanted to go. And you had a preview of the picture, like on the phone. But you just basically like, okay, I'm going to light up just like the right side of the hood.
Yes.
First.
Yep.
Focus on that. Get that perfect.
Where are the shadows? Because you're not shooting the light, you're shooting the shadows.
Yeah.
when it comes to a car. You want the contours. It's the same with shooting a face, right?
Yeah.
When you set up these lights, you're looking at where are the shadows. You're not looking necessarily at where is the light hitting. That's kind of the same thing with a car. So you can really focus on that when you're doing one light at a time.
Then you just move around and cover the whole car.
Yep. Yeah, it's been a good way to learn. Eventually it'd be nice to, and I am doing some shots where there's multiple lights. Like it's not every time I shoot a car that's like that, but I'm trying to stick with as much natural light as possible now. Keep it clean. I don't like playing with lights too much. It's fun, especially when it's a really conceptual shoot.
Yeah.
But the more I use lights, the more I realize it'd be nice to like not rely on them.
Because what you get when you get a lot of reflections, I can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. There are certain angles you can put the lights at where you can sort of bounce the reflections off like a curved part of the car versus a flat part. Sorry, we had a Doog night at my residence, and my hands are filthy. I was painting walls.
Fixing my bike this morning as well. Full of oil.
It's good. We need dirt under our fingernails.
Exactly.
Yeah, I distracted myself. Anyway, it's become more fun to rely on natural light. The storytelling is just a little bit better. You can create a more like ambient story, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Versus having the car distracting from everything. And even when you're using lights, like it's never the goal to have the lights obvious in the photo. Never the goal. Even if the light is obvious in the photo, I think you should show the source of the light so it makes sense. Exactly. Then the story actually like plays out.
And that's why you want like the golden hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lighting.
Yeah, that, and it's just like it softens it and it adds direction, and it's just fun to play with. Yeah. And if you're shooting at golden hour, right, your ambient light is the sun. If you're going to add another light, that should have the purpose of filling in with a similar direction of the sun. It's so complicated, and the people who are really, really good at it are like masters. Yeah. I don't understand it. I probably will at some point. I'm not going to say I never will, but it's going to take some time before I really, really get.
But it's a slow process, though, isn't it? Yeah. So it's important to look in the past as well to see like your first shoot, how you did then, and notice the mistakes you did then that you would never do now, for example. Yep. And you'd be like, you slowly evolve, but it's such a slow process.
Yeah. If you think of your head as like a warehouse for all the lessons you've learned, it's fun to go back through your photos and sort of like extract some of those lessons. Be like, oh yeah, that was the shoot where I figured out that if I use a red light from the tail light on the model, then it kind of helps tell the story of where the light is coming from. Things like that, and you start to piece them together, and then for your next shoot, they're more fresh in your mind. But it's not fun to look at your old photos.
No, I hate it.
It sucks.
I rarely do.
Oh, it's so brutal. Especially the old editing.
Yeah.
God, we were so bad.
I would over-edit more or less every single photo I took.
Yeah, contrast all the way up. Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, and then the blacks are useless.
Yeah.
There's no story in the photo. Yeah.
And I would add on like light flare from the sun. Like just orange flare.
Always.
And I was like,
always.
It looks horrible.
You have a yellowish layer, like a radiance, and then you have a redder radiant for the middle, so it has more punch.
And I'd be like, where's the light coming from? It's not coming from anywhere.
It doesn't make sense. The shadows are going all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like completely opposite.
Just desperate.
Oh man. Horrible.
The next phase of that is like adding a white haze. Yeah. Instead of adding like a colored haze so it looks like the sun, you add a white haze so it cleans up the photo. Yeah. And there's a way to do that where it's like really grown up, but there's a lot of people just throwing that in there. Yeah. Hoping for the best.
It's like a filter. You just pop it on kind of without it making sense.
Yeah. My addiction is just painting the whole photo. Right. Like if I put the photo in Photoshop, I just paint one color on top of the whole thing, and then I soft light blend it back in. Yeah. And it changes the whole like vibe of the photo. Right. But I'm sure in the future I'm going to look back at that and be like, what in the hell was I doing? Like not only was that inefficient and dumb, it also looked stupid.
We did a morning, like a golden hour shoot. I was in Mallorca last week, and we did like one.
Last week?
Yeah. I came home 2 days ago. But we did like a morning shoot with like, we had our bikes with us. We did a triathlon there. Me and my friend of mine, my coach, we took like a morning, like a golden hour shoot in the morning. And what I did then is like, we had this, like the backlighting, and he had his bike, and he had a sort of like a kind of bluish color on the bike,
Yeah.
and I used that color for the whole picture. So like the
dope.
sky and everything kind of looked that kind of the same color.
That's cool.
So you only had 2 main colors in the photos.
Yeah.
But then he took some pictures of me as well, and my bike is black, and I'm just wearing more or less like dark colors as well. So then we use like the yellow-ish color as a background. So there's only 2 colors on each photo, but they look different.
Yeah.
Just based on the main color, the main focus, which was the bike, basically.
That's storytelling.
Yeah, but it's like I kind of
cool.
like when I did the editing on it, I told him, it's like, did you notice that there was a difference?
Yeah.
He was like, oh yeah, I didn't think.
Oh yeah.
But when I edited, I was like, yeah, this makes sense to do it this way.
It's storytelling.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it helps. It emphasizes the story, right? If you're, I don't know what kind of photo it was, but if it was chill, you can create a chill vibe.
Yeah.
You can make everything sort of match, or you can give it like way harsh contrast by adding completely different colors.
But it's like the time of day to take, especially if you're taking portraits and stuff like that. We did one shoot as well that was like in the middle of the day, and the sun was just straight up. And I was like, I told him, it's like it's really harsh light. It doesn't look good. Like, I'm not really happy with the photos, stuff like that. So I was like, we need to do like a early shoot. And he was like, all right, let's do that. It just
Athletes.
Yeah.
You guys are so responsible.
But it just looks 10 times better.
Yeah.
Like, it looks so much better. So we took our bikes up to like a viewpoint where we saw like the whole city in the background. And the sun was like in the back as well. It was just, yeah.
That's cool.
It's magic.
What were you there for? You were there specifically for the triathlon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For an Ironman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Badass.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
Good.
Good.
It was fun, man.
Last time we talked, you were training,
Oh yeah, that's true.
and now you're competing.
That was like a year ago, I guess.
How's the
when I
competing
started.
going?
Yeah, good. I'm not winning.
No.
The people who are winning are insane.
Yeah.
Like it's the level now of
It's their job.
it's crazy. Yeah. Like if you're a pro, you're a pro.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a lot of fun just to participate.
Yeah. Are you doing Norseman?
I want to do it 1 year.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get into.
Yeah.
Like I can talk like in terms of like you with cars, I can talk about this for like fucking
Yeah, but it's interesting.
hours.
It's
hours
interesting.
and hours.
Yeah. I used to shoot this stuff, so it's
Yeah, exactly. You used to be at Norseman, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
taking
did it
pictures.
for like 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
I'm going as a photographer.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
That's hard too.
Yeah, long day, man.
Yeah.
I was there last year because I remember we met like a week before or something.
Yeah.
I was there last year, and you had to wake up around 3
Yep.
to take pictures because like the
If that, maybe even earlier.
yeah, man.
They jump off the boat at like 4 or something. No.
I think the boat leaves at 4, and then
Okay.
they start at 5.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Norseman is
Norseman is considered the toughest triathlon in the world. It's like an extreme triathlon. So it's 3.8 kilometers swim, 180 kilometer bike,
yep.
and then a full marathon where you finish on top of Gaustatoppen.
The elevation change.
Yeah, it's
Throughout
a
the whole
huge
thing,
elevation change. And on the bike as well, you're going from Eidfjord to, I think it's, where did they stop?
I forget the name, but you go through like Yilo,
Yeah,
down.
on top of Hardangervidda.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like strong winds, like there's no way of hiding from the wind.
That first hill is
Yeah.
insane.
And you just climb and climb and climb. You climb up and down like 3 mountain roads or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane. I remember we drove the whole thing in a car, and I was like, how the hell can you ride this long? Like,
Yeah.
it's a long ride. Anyways, we filmed there. And they take the ferry out in Eidfjord, like 3.8 kilometers.
Yep.
And they have to jump off the
Freezing.
ferry.
Freezing cold.
And it was strong winds as well. So it's really hard to swim.
Headwind swimming.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
There was one person, because you have to jump from the ferry to the starting point, which is between 2 kayaks.
Yep.
And you have to like just chill there and wait until the horn goes off.
Yeah. I'd already be dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were some people who didn't make it from the ferry to the kayaks, to the starting point.
Yet there's no room for you to compete, but these people are allowed to compete.
Well, this was like, I hadn't done my first Olympic triathlon yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Like at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I was still quite 100% new. I had no idea what I was doing, more or less. I'd just been like, I didn't start with like clipless pedals and bike shoes until like May last year.
Clipless?
Yeah, like where you clip on basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're called clipless. I don't know why.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're clip-ons basically, but they're called
Interesting. Inflammable kind of conundrum.
But like, yeah, so I was still quite new to it. And I didn't, like, they called me like a week before, Norseman. Be like, hey, do you want to come and film Norseman? I was like, yes.
You got a week to prepare for that, to learn how to...
Yeah. And I just had to ask a bunch of questions the day before. And I was like, how do you actually do it? Like, I don't really know what we're doing here. But it's like, we did a bunch of interviews with people that were like lined up. There was like a guy with me. And he lined up a bunch of interviews. And I had to film all the interviews and stuff. And we filmed an interview with Brun as well.
Brun?
Yeah, he's the...
Sounds familiar.
He won the Olympic.
Oh, yeah. That's why it sounds familiar.
Yeah. He's like more or less the best triathlete.
Was he competing?
Not at Norseman,
Okay.
but like we got him on Skype, basically, on Zoom.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I was up editing until like 1 a.m. And then we had to get ready at 3.
Yeah.
So it was like 2 hours sleep and like the whole day. You start really early and then you're not done until, I don't know, like 8 in the night, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah, it depends how many people you want to shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're in Gastotoppen for like 3 hours,
Yeah.
I think. And there was like really strong winds, like really, really bad weather.
Typical
the weather was
Gastotoppen,
horrible, yeah. And they said like they have like a GPS tracking on every triathlete.
Mm-hmm.
They said if they didn't have that, they couldn't go up to Gastotoppen.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, because it was way too dangerous.
Yeah.
And it was like the side winds, was like you could blow off the mountain, basically.
Oh my God.
But I remember I got a bad cold after that. I got really sick.
Yeah.
Just because of the weather.
That makes sense.
But like, like it was so worth it because
no
like
sleep too much because you got to edit afterwards too.
Yeah. And we did interviews the day after as well, like with the winners.
Jesus.
So it's like a whole day after as well.
Yeah.
I was so exhausted. I've never been that tired in my life, but
That's
it was
hard.
such a good experience.
Yeah.
So worth it because like the footage you get, like imagine you've been doing like, right, you've done the swim, you've done the bike, you've done the marathon. When you finish, it's like the euphoria you get, like the happiness and the adrenaline and everything like that.
Tears.
The emotion people give you, and you're there with a camera, like film all of them. Man, it was so fun. Like every single person, like who reached the mountain, they had a different reaction to it.
Yeah, the mountain is 1,881 vertical meters.
Yeah, something like that.
That at the finish of a triathlon.
Yeah.
Is
and it's
insane.
all at the end of the triathlon.
That's the finish line is at the very peak.
Yeah.
People are like crawling across the finish line.
Yeah, of course.
That's
it said that on the information. It's like there's 3 ways to do the marathon.
Yeah.
You can run, walk, or crawl.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Typically a combination of all.
Exactly.
It's brutal.
But man, it was so fun to get those reactions, and to actually, I sent some of those clips to the people as well, because they're gonna remember that for the rest of their lives. And for some of them, like they said, like having that footage, having that clip of them finishing, it was just like it meant the world to them.
Yeah,
because they've been building up to this moment for like almost a year.
What's the record for fastest finish? You know,
well, it's they don't really compare year to year.
Okay.
Just because the conditions are different.
Yeah.
Because now they had so much headwind on the swim and on the bike.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was like half an hour slower than like what it used to be. But it was like the guy who finished, I think it was like 11 and a half hours or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Jesus.
Which is crazy.
My friend, the last year I was there, my friend Lars Kirsten, he did it in under 10.
That's crazy.
I think that was the record at the moment.
Yeah.
That's not right.
That's insane.
That's not right. Humans shouldn't be able to do that.
No.
That's insane.
I think it was like, I saw a bunch of videos. It was like 1 year when there was like a heat wave in Norway as well. I think it was 2018.
That's how is that fair?
Exactly. But it's like, you think like if it's warm, it'd be nice, but it's worse.
That'd be way harder.
It's worse, man.
God. Yeah.
I noticed it when I was down
sunburn
in
and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that when I was down in Mallorca as well, because I did a half Ironman
Yeah.
there, and like the run, like running when it's really, really warm, is awful.
Yeah, it's brutal.
And every single aid station, I would take like a glass of water and just take a shower.
And the sweat doesn't disappear because there's no wind. It
No.
just sits on you.
And like you wear basically a tri-suit.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a really, really light like suit I use for the entire triathlon basically.
Okay.
And it doesn't weigh anything, and it's really light, and it's like air comes through, and it's quite nice to wear, especially if it's warm. But at the end of it, it kind of like you see the sweat marks, you see the salt from the sweat
Oh yeah, Jesus.
on the tri-suit.
Yeah.
You can basically like scrape it off and like collect salt. There's so much salt from there.
It's so brutal. Why do people want to do this? Why do you want to do this yourself?
I don't know, man.
You have the option not to do it.
I know.
Right?
You can
It's
just
called a
back
car.
out.
You can just take a car from A to B. You get there faster, you'll be more comfortable.
You
There's
know,
air
the weird
conditioning.
thing is like the fact that you know you can do it is sometimes enough.
I get that. Yeah.
You know you're able to do it. There was a guy who said it to me. He was like, for him, it's not the actual triathlon. It's the building up to it and being at the starting line, knowing you can do it.
Yeah.
He was like, I just need that confirmation to myself,
That's probably a good feeling.
knowing that I'm okay to do this.
Yeah.
But he doesn't need to do the actual triathlon.
And then there's the I told you so when you get across the finish line.
Exactly.
Not to anybody else, just to
All the
yourself.
doubt. Yeah, to
Just-
yourself doubting it.
Yeah, yeah.
But the fun thing that I enjoy about it, and this goes for every single aspect of life in general, is knowing you can do something today that you weren't able to do like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Like 6 months ago, like if someone told you, you're going to be able to do this in 6 months, you'd be like, no, of course not. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What are you, insane? Of course not.
Yeah.
Like just having this job, like just evolving, and be like, if someone told me like went to film school, so you're going to be able to make a living off of this someday.
Yeah, that's rad.
That's crazy, man.
That's wild. Yeah.
That's what I mean. And like in applying that to every aspect of your life, like physical, like career, whatever.
Yeah. Just reminding yourself that like you are where you wanted to be.
Yeah.
It's hard when it goes the other way though. When you tell yourself you're not where you wanted to be.
Exactly.
That's a brutal one. But that's where physical fitness comes in.
Yeah.
I mean that's especially in like our field where you're sort of self-made. You're like, oh, self-made is such a dumb term.
But you can decide whether or not you want to evolve or not.
Yeah.
At a like, for instance, like, you know, at the beginning of the pandemic, you could have decided to just wait it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just keep going with
I don't think I could have.
doing.
I think I would have had to get a real job. I think I would have starved. I think I would have ran out of money and starved, and that was it. And
I know a couple of photographers who did that.
yeah, a lot
They
of
were
people
like,
left.
game over.
Left the game.
That's it. Yeah. Get
Yeah,
a job at a warehouse or something.
It's hard. I mean, it's a really hard job.
Yeah.
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but it's like one of those things where if you're not on it all the time, it doesn't happen.
Because no one's telling you to chase that job or chase that whatever.
Yeah.
You have to like have. That's one of the things I like about it as well.
Yeah.
Is the fact that every single person who's in the game really likes it.
Yeah.
Like especially people who actually do all right with it.
Yeah.
They enjoy what they do. Because if you didn't enjoy it, you would just give up like
Yeah. Yeah. It's
ages ago.
too hard.
Yeah.
It's too hard. Mentally, it's too taxing. Maybe not physically. I mean, it's, not giving yourself physically that much to anything. But that's why you need physical fitness. That's the crazy thing about this is physical fitness and like spending time at the gym or triathlons or on a bike or running or whatever.
Yeah.
That sort of resets your mentality when it comes to everything else. And that's something that's unlocked a lot of work ethic for me. Not only in terms of like being able to stay up later and work harder and focus harder, but also like appreciate where I'm at more.
Yeah.
Because you understand progress, you understand what progress looks like and how to make it. And that's something before I started like exercising and working out that I didn't have. Like a lot of students get stuck with that. And then students don't see the light at the end of the rainbow. And then school becomes hard and it sucks and it's not something you want to do. That physical fitness is so important.
Yeah.
So important.
And especially the like knowing that you're going to suck at the beginning as well, but you are going to improve.
Yeah.
And being excited for that road, like that development.
That's the best.
Where you learn small things along the way.
Yeah.
It can be really hard, especially when you have someone that's way better than you.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, why can't I just be that good?
Yeah.
It was really annoying, but like slowly evolving.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I'm too competitive to have those thoughts. I'm far too competitive. If I start a new thing and I see somebody who's better than me, I'm like, okay, how long until I can beat them?
Yeah. I have it.
It's rough. I started wakeboarding last season.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, the moment I got on the wakeboard, I was like, okay, how long until I can backflip? I'm going to do it. It's just a matter of when. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a physical fitness thing. That's
Yeah, yeah.
You don't unlock with like mental challenges.
No.
You can't get that.
No.
You need to see yourself be small and scrawny or fat and lazy, and then watch yourself in a year become something different.
Exactly.
It's like that unlocks that mentality, I think.
And that's one of the things that I enjoyed the most about doing the triathlon this weekend, was that I was in control.
Yeah.
I knew what I was doing. Like I had
Versus
control.
2 years ago or 3 years ago.
Exactly. Like 2 years ago, I would have been like fish out of water. I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I would have been like, I would be in the way. I would like crash into people. I'd be like, you know, how do I do with the bike and like the nutrition and drink? I was like, I had no clue.
Yeah.
I didn't know at all. But now I was in control for the whole way.
Yeah.
And I was like overtaking people on the bike. I was like in my aero bars. I was like, the run went perfect. Like I had control of it, all my kit. Yeah, but that's what I enjoyed about it the most. Like the time or whatever, it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
But the fact that I was in control for the whole way. And I wasn't like out of place. That was fun.
Yeah, isn't that a good feeling?
Yeah, it was.
God, some people never feel that. Some people don't get that. Or like hiking a mountain. Even just hiking a mountain. You start at the bottom, you end up at the top.
Yeah.
The top is such a good feeling.
Yeah.
Just being able to beat yourself and like, I did it. Fuck it.
It's
Next
amazing.
mountain.
Yeah.
Some people don't have that, and it kills me. Playing The Sims or like Roller Coaster Tycoon. I played that a lot when I was a kid.
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
And then you learn Rosebud, and then you type in Rosebud enough, you get unlimited money.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the game's not fun.
Exactly.
You just go outside.
Doesn't become a
skateboard
challenge
instead.
anymore.
Yeah.
It's the same with like GTA.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you just kept cheating.
Yep.
It's like unlimited health, all that stuff.
You get the tank, you learn how the tank flies, and then
Exactly.
you fly backwards to the next island, and you're done.
That's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't become fun. Yeah.
Suddenly the game's over. When are they going to make a new one? The new GTA 6? That's got to come out soon, right?
I hope so. They redigitalized, like remastered the old ones.
Again, yeah. For the third platform.
Yeah, but it didn't. It was so buggy, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. That makes it more fun. Like Cyberpunk? Did you ever play Cyberpunk?
I've heard about it.
I played it the day it came out.
Yeah.
I had so much fun.
It was buggy, wasn't it?
It broke all the time.
But it just failed completely.
But like bad breaks where like it would soft lock the game and I couldn't go further.
But it's like
But it was so funny because of it.
it was such a hype,
Yeah.
and then when it was released, nothing.
But it was a great game. It was
Right.
a very, very good game.
Yeah.
Still is. They fixed it and now it's like fantastic. But
Such a shame, though.
the bugs, I thought it made it more fun. It was so fun, like getting into a fight with a guy, and then he would like glitch out and shoot across the map.
Really, it was that bad.
Those things were so fun. It's
Was
like
that bad?
Skyrim back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Like Skyrim, if a troll would hit you too hard or something, you would just like take off into space. I thought that was awesome.
I can't play video games anymore, to be honest.
Why not?
I get too addicted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you play too much like online or?
I didn't play that much online, but I played like sandbox games, like
Yeah.
open world games,
Yeah.
like
So
Far
good.
Cry and GTA and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I would just I would spend all like Red Dead Redemption,
Yeah.
like Assassin's Creed, all those games. I would just spend all my time in the game.
But it's fun.
But it is fun.
Yeah.
But every time I finished like a long session,
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel happy at the end. You know what I mean?
No, you're just like, okay, what work do I have to do?
I was like, I wasted, because like I said to myself, I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish in an hour.
Yeah.
Like or at 6, I'm gonna finish, get some food, clean the apartment, blah, blah, do all the stuff I have to do,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it's like 10 o'clock,
Yeah.
and I've just phased out, and I was like, I feel shit about everything now.
Yeah.
And
There's
that's
only
like-
one game that hasn't done that for me.
Really?
Yeah. And that's Gran Turismo.
Mm.
I could spend hours on Gran Turismo and then I come out of it like, okay,
Yeah, but you're learning
that
about
was
cars.
a good time.
Exactly.
I bought a racing simulator.
Oh, really?
So I have the seat, the pedals, and everything.
All in.
It's so much fun, dude. So much fun. Just getting better. Like I can do the same track
Yeah.
60 times and
Right.
not get tired of it. I think I've done Spa like 200-300 times.
What's that?
Spa is a track in Belgium.
Oh, okay.
And it's one of the best tracks ever created. It's so much fun. And I do it with the same car, just over and over. Same turn, like 300 times in a row.
But you can kind of apply that to real life, can't you?
Yeah, I hope so.
Like sort of.
Yeah, learning racing lines and braking points and
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah, and like the wheel feels pretty realistic. So
Okay.
you can feel like bumps in the road and
All right.
how, like when the car loses grip, you can feel that. And
Interesting.
it's a lot of fun. But that's the one game. Like I'm also playing Horizon Zero Dawn right now.
Okay.
The new one, Forbidden West. And that, like, I can spend hours in that, and at the end, I have that feeling just,
Yeah.
shit.
I remember
got
when
other things to do.
I finished Red Dead Redemption 2,
Yeah, I never did.
like the whole story.
Yeah.
And the last, like, because it's a long story. Like, people say, like, you can take, like, about 60 hours.
They are
finishing
now.
them.
They just are. That's what
they
video
just
games
keep
are.
going, keep going,
Yeah.
keep going. And when I finished it, like, there's the credits, like
Mm-hmm.
the roll up. And I sat there and was like, I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
But
Really?
yeah, I feel nothing.
I'm glad I didn't finish it then.
I just wanted the storyline to finish basically at the end. And that's why I had to basically, my TV stopped working. Like it was a really old TV I got
Okay.
from my brother.
Yeah.
And it was like, we were clearing out like a meeting room at the store. It was like, do you want the TV? I was like, yeah, sure. Put up the TV, put up a PlayStation that I borrowed from a friend of mine. And it stopped working like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
And I was like, just get rid of it.
really?
Put up a picture.
Really?
Don't have a TV.
You
nothing.
don't even have a TV anymore.
No.
Do you watch shows or anything?
I watch shows just on the laptop, like one episode.
Yeah.
And then I close the laptop and then try and do something
It's
else.
incredible. The
Yeah, I know.
willpower.
It takes a lot of willpower. It
Yeah.
takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
And you can so like, what you end up doing sometimes when you just want to zone out, and which is bad, you just end up scrolling on social media instead.
Yeah, that's
And that's kind of bad.
worse.
But I know that that's bad.
Yeah.
So I spend like maybe 10 minutes instead of like 3 hours playing a game.
Yeah.
Because for
Yeah, I
me,
get that.
it's more destructive than enjoyment.
But there's nothing better than like watching Better Call Saul and analyzing the cinematography.
I can't start watching
So
stuff like
good.
that. If it's like, how many seasons of it is it now?
5, maybe?
Yeah. If
4
I
or 5?
start watching that, I would do nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to start from day one.
Yeah.
If you don't start from day one, that's what happened to me with Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I watched season 1 like after 4 seasons had come out or something.
Yeah.
And then after season 1, I was like, okay, I'll just wait for the last season. Watch the last season. And anything in between, like, I'm not going to waste my time.
Really? You skipped all of it?
Yeah, I watched the first season and the last season. I got everything I needed.
Yeah.
Everything I needed to know. It's fine.
You just like put the pieces together yourself.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I
Just
guess
assume
they
those
did
people
this.
died. And
Exactly.
Whatever. Who cares who killed who?
Yeah.
I know who's mad now.
Yes.
But it was great. It was cool. I got to skip all the part where there weren't dragons and then where the dragons were growing up. And I just saw the cool part where the dragons were badass.
Because more or less, like all the seasons were just building up to the last one.
Yeah.
Did you
Just
enjoy
watch
the last
first
season?
and last. It's still too nerdy for me.
Right.
I never was into like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter or like any of those fantasy things.
Good.
So it never like clicked.
That's a waste of time as well, to be honest.
Lord of the Rings.
Not like all, like you can get into all that stuff as well.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
reading the books is great, but like the Marvel things, for example,
Oh yeah, you can lose a lot of
you
time
can
on
get
that.
so into it. But it's like I followed that from the start.
Yeah.
Like I remember the first Iron Man when it came out.
How much time have you wasted hating some of those movies?
Oh, I waste little time doing it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's rare.
I'm getting good at that as well. Because I remember when The Hobbit came out,
Yeah.
like the last Hobbit film,
Yeah.
I watched
good.
that. It was awful.
There's like GoPro shots in there.
Yeah, it is. Like combined with CGI footage.
Yeah.
So there's like a CGI shot and then a GoPro shot.
Yeah. Like
And
them
they
in the
don't
barrel
match.
on the river.
Yeah, they don't match at all.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there, it's like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But like, I watched the new Dr. Marvel, the
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, the multiverse thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sitting there and it's like, yeah, I know this is cool and everything, but I care less now about stuff like that,
Yeah.
which is a good thing, I think, because you can take over.
Yeah.
I just don't have the energy or the time to consume it as much as I used to.
The hard part is like coming out of those movies or watching them and seeing things that you don't like when they like do something to a character or the character does something and you're just
Yeah.
like, like I invested so much time in this.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be here.
Yeah.
But like you got to watch it because you're so invested in it.
You have to. But especially the MCU things now. It's like a TV show now.
Yeah.
You have to watch that episode to understand the next one.
Yeah.
It's like a continuously running story.
Yeah. And a lot of them are strange and bad.
But that's what I mean, like in terms of like investing time and energy in different things. If you can find, so like if you have an addictive nature, I always meant this. If you have an addictive nature, and I think most creative people do.
Yes.
If you apply it to something that sort of like gets you to the next step where you want to be in life, that's a lot better than, finishing Assassin's Creed, for example, or Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I don't know. I like video games a lot.
Yeah, but
but I know what you mean.
It can be
I'm
destructive.
definitely happier when I do
like,
something
I know
productive.
that for me, it's destructive.
But it's got to be like a moderate distraction, right?
Yeah.
You got to have something. You can't just
gotta have
work
something.
all the time. It will kill you and you'll hate your job.
Yeah, exactly. It is like I have a couple of shows that I follow, but like I try to not get consumed because like if I start watching Better Call Saul,
Yeah.
like it would consume me 100%.
God, it's so good.
I
They only release one episode per week. So if you're caught up, it's only 1 hour a week that you're spending just like.
exactly,
Sorry.
but I have to start season 1, and
Yeah.
I would spend my entire week
Yeah.
watching all of it.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
So I try not to, basically.
That's the hard part.
And I remember, like, I heard someone say, like, they asked at a podcast, and he was like, "Have you ever seen a film you've seen before? Again?"
Yeah.
It's like,
Me?
why?
Or
Yeah, just like anyone.
yeah. I've watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I think like 20 times
Why?
because I love that movie. It's so good.
But he was like,
But every time at the end of it, I feel happier. I'm just like, okay,
yeah,
cool. That's why I love that
That
movie.
is a good film.
Or like Breakfast Club or any John Hughes
Yeah.
film. I love it. It's just fun. It makes me happy. Good storytelling. You get
Yeah.
to get lost in a different world for a little bit.
Escape a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
What about TV series? Have you watched TV series?
No, that
Multiple
I can't.
times?
That I can't do.
Exactly. That's a big one.
It's a big investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of time, especially if it's like because Breaking Bad is one of those.
Yeah.
Where I could see myself watching Breaking Bad again, but just sitting there and knowing that certain characters are gonna die and these things are gonna happen, like.
Sometimes I just
There's no
watch
tension.
clips on YouTube.
Mhm.
I'd be like, I remember that one scene. I would just want to see that one scene again.
Yeah.
And then that's enough. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, but even when you do that, like, there's no weight to it anymore, because shows like that are really good at building tension.
Yeah.
And without that tension, the clip doesn't mean much.
No, but you kind of like, you can remember what happened before and after and stuff like you
Yeah.
fill in the blanks yourself.
Yeah,
And
you're
there's-
still missing a lot though. And I see what you mean. Like when you rewatch stuff,
Yeah.
you're not watching it with the same kind of tension.
No.
Like I'm gonna watch. I bought tickets 2 nights ago for the new Top Gun movie.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm gonna watch that twice.
No.
Just because, one, I'm sure the movie's not gonna be great. The action's gonna be fucking rad.
Yeah. 100%.
And those are the scenes I can go back to watch again. When there's no tension in the action, it's just for the action. I just want to see
like the
Tom Cruise fly.
sequences. Yeah.
Dude, I just want to. That's all I want to see. Like when you watch a King Kong movie
Yeah.
or like a Godzilla. Dude, Godzilla movies are the fucking raddest. It's so rad.
the Godzilla versus Kong
Oh,
film.
it's so cool.
was so awesome.
And then Mechagodzilla shows
Yeah,
up
it
and
was
there's
amazing.
lasers involved.
But you
and-
just skip to that part.
Oh yeah,
skip
see,
to that
I could
part.
watch that again.
Yeah.
But things that have tension, like Game of Thrones or TV shows, I can't watch anything that depends on how much tension and suspense they have to create.
I understand.
That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
But those movies, yes, maybe.
They're fun. But that's what I mean. Like, yeah, it's you can. There's so much to consume now. You can invest a lot of time
Yeah,
just watching stuff, man.
that's brutal.
On YouTube as well.
Yeah,
Like so many YouTubers out there now.
I spent a lot of time on
Yeah,
YouTube
way too much.
editing,
Way
edit
too much.
photos on this screen, YouTube on this screen.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, it's brutal. That's why doing this vlog stuff has been interesting. Because as I vlog, I mean, if you're editing film, you can't really focus on a YouTube video at the same time.
No.
Maybe if you're logging footage, but like even then, it's hard.
Yeah,
So it's been nice to like do that and not distract myself.
I have music in the background always when I'm editing.
Oh yeah,
Like films.
that's
I can
that's
sort of
the-
like filter out the music when I need to focus on
That's a good
the
idea.
film. But most of the time I can sort of like have them both play.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you Yeah, because you and I guess we have antsy personalities. Like we
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
constantly be doing things.
Yeah.
And when it's silent forever and you're just logging footage.
Ugh, horrible.
Yeah, that's a mind killer.
That's the one thing I could easily give away with this job
Yeah.
is the editing.
Yeah. We actually, me and my filmer, I film with a guy named Mats Anderson. So whenever I offer stills to a company, I also sell him in as
Yeah.
a filmer. We just incorporated yesterday. So now we are a business,
Wow.
fully fledged, no longer individual
So
laborers. Yeah. So the next step is to get an editor so we don't have to do any of it ourselves.
Exactly.
That's going to be nice.
Because think about it, like if you could spend all that time you spend editing, like doing the grunt work, basically doing
Yeah.
the work, you know the result.
Yeah.
You just have to go through the process of getting there,
Yeah.
but you know exactly what the end result's going to be.
Yes.
It's just like, taking that one step at a time thing, like logging, whatever.
Yeah.
If you can spend that time getting clients instead,
That's the goal.
So much more valuable.
That's the goal. I'm better at selling than I am at editing.
Exactly.
So if anybody watching this
Any editors?
any editors who want some work, editing some cool car shit or whatever else we're doing, I need it. I need you.
Need you in my life.
Please. You save me a lot of time.
No, I always like do that as well. If I can afford it in terms of the budget and the project, I just give it away.
Yeah.
The editing.
Yeah.
And
Do you have somebody that you always go to, or do you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And I send him, he's in Australia at the moment. So I send him like the proxy files.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he sends back the project file and I do the final touch up
wow.
with the
That's
master
smart.
shots. It works. Really works. It's
That's
a good
smart.
workflow.
So yeah, you don't even have to hand over a hard drive. or
No,
anything.
nothing. The proxy files are so small that you just WeTransfer it.
It's a good move.
Yeah. And then he like puts on the music, like gives like an example of the grade
Yeah.
and the stock footage and like all that stuff. And I put in the graphics and just like the small detail
Yeah.
and I hand it off to the client.
Then his job becomes way faster.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he doesn't have to like, there's no back and forth like 50 times, like feedback forms and blah, blah, blah. I just say, he sends me like a rough cut and
Yeah.
I'll be like, great, I'll do the final 10%.
Then I'm guessing the editing happens like
So quick.
super fast.
Such a good workflow.
Because that's with commercial projects now, me and Mats, we have this problem where editing is just slow.
Yeah.
And it's not slow because we're like slow at it. It's slow because there's so much like to do.
Yeah.
So if we can like make notes while we're filming and be like, this shot is good, probably use this one, then that's a good way to speed everything
Yeah.
up.
But you give that to the editor, you give them a shot list
Yeah.
and be like, here's an example of how we want it to be.
Great.
But
Yeah.
whatever you think works better, just
That's the move.
bring that in.
Okay, cool. Then I will be finding an
Yeah.
editor. Once again, if anybody's an editor and watching this, I need it. I need you. Please.
Is there a lot of work out there now, though?
Yeah, it's here and there. From January, so January is usually pretty quiet, but February to like now is hell.
Packed, yeah.
It's hard. But we have made the mistake of working too much and not selling. Once again, the editing and stuff just distracting. So now for the next few months, it looks a little bit slow.
Yeah.
We'll see what comes up. There's a few things here and there, but who knows? But also, like, a lot of our work comes up like a week before it happens.
Exactly.
They'll just be like, hey, we're doing a thing. Or, hey, we're starting a company. We need like a brand video or something. Then he's, okay, cool. I guess I'm going. Or like that Porsche thing. They call you and say, hey, tomorrow your flight's leaving at 2.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes I get like saying like, yeah, the company is overloaded with work, or
Yeah.
like our photographer's on holiday, or
Yeah,
like stuff like that. Are you free next weekend, for example?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Those are huge opportunities.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's the opportunity you just need to grab if
Yeah.
you're looking for work.
Yeah.
You just got to like cancel everything. I don't care what you're doing. You got to go for it.
Kind of an asshole move to steal that client, but at the same time, if you're better,
Well, it's more or less, most of the time, it's companies that are growing
yeah,
and need more people.
yeah,
It's like most of the time, it's that our photographer or editor have too much stuff to do and we have a deadline.
yeah,
Like, your name came up. Are you free? And then the next time, they just call you like right away.
Yeah.
And then
You also, on the other side, if you're too busy to take on work, you need to have people you can trust won't steal that client from you.
Yeah.
So you have to be the bad guy and like the boss at the same time.
Yeah. You filter it down basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's basically like how you get most of the jobs in this industry.
A lot of them. Yeah.
It's just like people talk.
Yeah. Just, hey, I can't take this shoot. A lot of it comes directly from other photographers.
Yeah.
Too. Like other photographers, like if I'm giving away a shoot, if it means I'm busy doing something I'd rather be doing, which means the client probably doesn't mean that much to me. So if you're better than me at that, like if it's shooting a hotel room or something and you're better at that than me, I'm not going to miss it.
No.
Chances are, like, go ahead and take it. But if it's something like Porsche and I genuinely don't have time for it, then you have to have somebody you know is going to do the job well, but not going to like linger with that with that employer. That's hard.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's tough. The toughest is when I had this with Lexus this year. They come to you with a concept and a budget and they're ready to go. You pitch in your work and they are good to go, and then they cancel the shoot. You just like don't hear from them again.
Oh.
Those suck.
Yeah.
Those are brutal. Then like I don't know if I'm ever going to get work, and then how many emails can I send before I become annoying? Just remind them like, hey, I know we couldn't do this shoot, but how about we do one in the future, like the LA style of selling.
Yeah.
And in Norway it doesn't work.
No,
like, they don't like you. Then they get 2 emails unanswered from you and he's just like,
yeah, take the hint, man.
He's annoying. Get
take
away.
The hint.
Those are hard.
Yeah.
That's the American in me, I think. I just want to constantly be calling them or showing up and being like, hey guys, just to let you know, still here.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen. Like, okay, we'll let you know. Like,
but that's where like, I guess YouTube and social media and Instagram is the best way to let them know that you're still working.
Yeah.
Like if they follow you on Instagram and you're constantly putting out stuff, they know that you're, just.
Yeah, I just don't like to trust it. Because there's a lot of times where it doesn't reach them on Instagram.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like they never see it. Because they don't care. And 2, they only want to see your Instagram when they're like trying to fill in. Like for the next job. So when Lexus has another campaign, they're going to go through this whole process again where they have to find a photographer. And maybe I'm not the right one for that. Like maybe then they go to somebody else and then they're happy with that guy. And then I'm too competitive to do these things. But that's why it's going to be nice to get an editor and get somebody who can take over all this stuff. Like having a filmer alone has saved me a lot of time with that. It's been so nice to be able to not have to worry about the film side and like just sell. But that's the hard part of this industry. You got to be extremely competitive to be good at it, but you can't be too competitive where it eats you up. And there's a weird balance there that's impossible. Yeah,
and you gotta work together as well. Like in terms of how like isolating it actually is when you're working by yourself.
Yeah.
It's really like it's very social in a lot of ways. Because like you said, you get jobs from other photographers.
Yes.
They recommend you. And you have to be able to communicate. And sometimes you have to give jobs away to them as well.
Yeah.
It's like I do that sometimes. It's like there's the editor from who lives in Australia now. When I started working here, I basically didn't work freelance for like a long time, but I spent a long time building up like a network.
Yeah. And
more or less every single job that people asked me to do, I would give to him. And at one point he said to me, he was like, dude, like every single job that I do now is from you.
Yeah.
Like you're supplying me with like, I'm making a living out of this now.
Then at what point is it worth it to go in together?
But that's what we do now.
Become okay.
Yeah, because like when he's in Australia, all his filming, like I do the filming and he does the editing. Mm-hmm. Like whatever job he gets requested to do.
Perfect.
So he can still keep his clients and he does all the, like budgeting and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I just do the filming and send him the footage and he works with the client. It works, man.
That's the move.
It's like a team.
Yeah.
It's like a team effort.
It's a good move.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And that's why me and my filmer have connected and now officially started something together.
And it benefits the both of you.
Yeah.
To do it that way.
Yeah, it does.
If you're both happy with it.
Yeah, you can't do everything.
No.
That's something a lot of photographers will tell themselves.
Yeah.
They'll try to film at the same time, but the films look like shit. And the filmers will try to take stills and the stills look like shit.
Yeah.
Get somebody who complements that. Or the editing, like with you and your editor. Just get somebody who can do it and just accept the fact that you're not going to do everything.
Yep.
But if you're together, you can raise budgets and work faster.
And get a better result as well. Because then he focuses completely on the editing. Yeah. While I just do other stuff as well.
Yeah, the storytelling becomes the focus, and you can actually like worry about creating a good product.
Yeah.
Not just a pretty product, but like a good product. Yeah. That's a grown-up way of thinking about photography.
Definitely, because like you said, it is a competitive space. But like when you find someone, when you work together, you develop so much faster as well.
Yeah.
It's like Mr. B said that like if you have like a group of YouTubers who work together and learn from each other's mistakes, you also like move up the ladder quicker.
Oh yeah, yeah. A rising tide raises all ships, as they say. Yeah.
It's such a it's a good like mentality to have.
Yeah.
But I can imagine at the beginning it can be kind of tough.
Yeah, you feel like you can do everything.
Yeah, but you also like you don't want to give away stuff to other people all the time.
That's one thing I wish I did better when I was younger, is that I like assisted other photographers.
Yeah.
That I was like there on shoots and just sort of watched it happen and learned, and then they would trust me more to give me more work and so on and so forth. That's something that I watched like Håkon Jørgensen. That's something I watched him do a lot. He was shooting constantly or helping on other shoots or whatever. And like, look at him now. Now he's massive. He's a monster. Yeah. He's so good too. He's so good. But that's I don't know. I don't know what it is about that. There's something that's like competitive, and it's hard for like me to admit that because we came up together. But at the same time, like, you have to accept the fact that some people just did something different that they did right. And maybe he looks at me and sees something that I'm doing right as well. But it's weird. Like, that mentality is so hard. It's so competitive. I want to do well by myself.
Yep.
And I want to get all the work by myself, and I want to like dominate, and I want to just be the best. But at the same time, if I keep thinking like that I need to be the best, it's just going to kill me.
See, I don't have that mentality at all.
No?
I'm not competitive.
Fuck, see,
there's 0% of me.
Maybe you get it out in your Ironman stuff.
Probably.
You might.
No, honestly, my theory is the fact that I'm the youngest of 4 brothers.
Yeah, okay.
So competing with them when I was younger was just pointless because they were
You've just given up.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
But the antidote to competitive people is to not be competitive with them. Like if you play Monopoly, for example, just like we play Monopoly, we couldn't play Monopoly together.
Yeah.
Because we would just start fighting.
Yeah.
But like my brother was so super competitive. If I didn't care if I won or not, that would just annoy him more.
Yeah, okay.
So that was my antidote. It's like, I don't care if I win or not.
Yeah.
I can just give money out to people, whatever. I was just like, I don't really play the game properly.
Yeah.
Because then his win didn't feel like he won properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that would just annoy him more.
One thing I've noticed is that success sort of helps me be happier for other people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If I'm successful and doing things well and I'm focused on myself and actually like in a position where I'm driving, then I can look at other people and be like, wow, they're killing. Even within like the car photography game, direct competitors, I can look at them and be like, wow, that's dope. Congrats on getting that opportunity and like nailing it.
And I think that has something to do with it as well. The fact that I'm happy with where I'm at.
Yeah.
It can make me like encourage other people to like, I want them to be like, to rise up as well.
Yeah.
And help them to rise up. And like, cause they're doing their thing. I'm doing my thing. And it hasn't, for me, it doesn't compete. It doesn't have anything to do with each other. So I can be happy with whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, awesome. Like
that's hard in at least car photography.
I can imagine like
there's
if you're
50 guys doing it for free. And yeah.
But if someone were to like, want to do this, the stuff that I'm doing, and try to like get in and take over what I'm doing, that'd be kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's something about it, man.
Yeah,
it's just, you get so competitive, but I don't know. I think physical fitness has also helped a lot with that.
Yeah.
Just getting that kind of progression and aggression out in the gym.
I will have to admit though, like when I did the Ironman, when I overtook someone who had a much more expensive bike than I had,
It's a good feeling.
And they had like the aero helmet and everything like that. And they were like going for it as well. They were like all out.
Yeah.
And I overtook them.
Yes.
Man, I felt good.
Yes. Let the hate flow through you. Yes, it's good.
I felt really good.
It's a good feeling, man.
Yeah. And
Winning.
I was like, fuck yeah. Like,
Beating
this is
other people
awesome.
is a good feeling.
It is.
It's a shame. It sucks that it is a good feeling,
It's
but
so embedded in us to wanting to be better than other people.
just
and
winning. Yeah.
it's the whole thing about like Strava as well. If you know what Strava is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the social network for fitness, basically. So
Yeah.
you upload all your runs and your bikes and your swims and like all this stuff, all the stuff you put on your watch and log, you put on Strava. And there's the whole thing about like if you do like a slow run and your pace is really slow, you kind of don't want to upload it on Strava because you see everyone else is faster than you.
Yeah.
It's also as well if you're doing like a really short ride,
Yeah.
like if you do intervals, like hill intervals, like it looks like you're not, you've just been out, like took your bike, gone up to the first hill
Yeah.
and gone up and down 5 times. But because you're riding uphill, the
It's
pace is so
slower
slow.
and not as far.
So you don't want to really upload
Do they
it.
not show elevation change?
They do, but not, some people just don't see that as like an obstacle. You know what I mean?
So, whoa, okay.
But
Those
it's
are
like
talented people.
But it's like, it doesn't show up on like the feed. You have to go on the actual activity to see the elevation
Okay.
gain.
You should only ride downhill.
Exactly.
On Strava.
But yeah,
Only.
but that's what I mean. Just like you take the tram up to wherever,
Yeah.
or the bus or whatever, and
Home
just
colon
ride
and just mob
just
down
downhill. Yeah,
and stop.
exactly.
And then
So
bus
quick.
up and you continue.
Just keep going like that. But like in terms of like, I see other people doing like really long rides, like a 100-kilometer rides and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, I don't want to upload my 30-kilometer ride,
Yeah.
comparing it to, because you're constantly comparing yourself to other people.
You can also use that though. Like you can use them as credibility.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to hold yourself accountable for some, or accountable. Yeah, sorry. It's hard to hold yourself accountable for some of these things, but if you put it out there that you suck and you actually tell the world like, look, I'm in a position right now where I'm bad at whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I need you to hold me accountable.
Yeah.
I've done that with weight loss on Instagram or
Yeah.
like working out. And not only do you get like a ton of support, but also I got a lot of people who wanted to go to the gym with me
Yeah.
and like teach me new things. And
We went once, didn't we?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. You just put it out there and just
Yeah.
tell people like, look, be like humble yourself and say, look, I suck at this.
Yeah.
And right now I'm not in a position where I'm getting better. Yeah. And that's something I should do right now because I'm trying to lose weight now.
Yeah.
I should do that again, but it might be a little bit late in the process, but it's
Never too late. But just like the fact that you're going as well is a positive.
Yeah.
Like just showing up.
Yeah. I'm also a little bit hesitant to agree with that. Like
Alright.
SOTS,
Yeah.
you know, SOTS, the gym has started a new campaign
Yeah.
where they're just like clapping for people who just show up.
Yeah.
Like as long as you're there, like in the ad, there's a guy like on his phone on one of the machines or eating a banana while they're waiting, like between sets. I'm not there to sit on my phone.
No.
Like I don't like people who are there to waste time. Not only my time waiting for a machine or something, but like their own time. Like don't go if you're not going to do it.
No.
So that mentality, I don't quite vibe with.
If it's people who actually hate going to the gym,
Yeah.
it can be good for them to do that. Just to like
Build
put it,
positive connotations. Or,
just to put it in their schedule that they're going to go.
but they're
that-
not going to do anything.
But they say like if you go and you're just there for 10 minutes,
Yeah.
just putting on your workout clothes
Yeah.
can sometimes be enough.
Yeah.
Like they say like
Further down the line that you start to get more into it.
yeah, if you know every Thursday,
Yeah.
no matter what, you have to basically stop by the gym.
But you know there are people who after a month look at the scale and see that they're not losing weight. And
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
well, fuck, it's not
Yeah.
working. There's something wrong with me. Like I have glandular problems or whatever. And
Every January,
Metabolism.
like I asked someone at the gym and it's like every January, like I think like, you know, it ends in February, like the
Yeah.
January buzz where everyone wants to get fit.
Mhm.
Like the first 4 weeks of every year, there's like tons of people at the gym. And I asked him, it's like, how long does that like the wave last?
Yeah.
And the guy was like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
People give up after 2 weeks.
2 weeks and they don't see progress, so they
Yeah,
just quit.
like, yeah, whatever. And they have the
Gotta
mentality.
work though.
But that's what I mean. Like they have the mentality that they have to, like they want to go every day.
Mm.
It's like I'm going to go every day of January.
Yeah.
And then they skip one day and they'll be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't
there
work.
it goes. Yeah.
That's it. But that's what I mean.
Yep.
Like if you just say to yourself, you're going to be there 10 minutes every week.
Yeah.
And then after.
But you got to do something in those.
You got to do something.
You got to sweat.
Yeah, you got to sweat.
It's got to hurt.
You just do like some push-ups or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're still doing 10, like if you do 10 squats and 10 push-ups, you're still doing 10 squats and 10 push-ups more than you did in December.
Yeah.
So you're still doing more
than
you did last month. And then you move to 15.
But more is not enough.
But sometimes like it.
There is an objective.
Yeah.
There is an objective. Muscle doesn't grow if you don't push it hard enough.
No, but it's like sometimes for like, 10 squats for some people can be enough.
Oh yeah.
Be like, that's it. I'm done.
It's hard, but it being hard doesn't mean that's productive.
No, but it's like.
You gotta work. You gotta do 3 sets of 10 squats.
Exactly. But that can be next week.
Yeah,
Like you do that next week.
It has to be. That's the difference. That long term, like turning that kind of struggle and that like show up for 10 minutes and just get it done.
Yeah. But
Turning
then the next
that
week.
into like bigger.
Exactly. Next week you do 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's like just think
That's the hard part.
Just do the bare minimum. Like you just be there for 10 minutes. And sometimes when you're there, you'd be like, well, I might as well do something else as well.
Yeah.
Like I'll try the treadmill or do whatever. I'll do some weights or do the bench.
Yeah.
I'll see where my level is at with this thing and this thing. And then you slowly evolve. And all of a sudden you spend an hour every week doing this thing.
Hopefully.
And that can apply to every single thing, like every passion that you want to start. Like
Exactly.
playing guitar, for example.
It's an analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. For photography or arts or anything. Like if you want to get, there's so many people who ask me how to get better at photos. Like what technique? Just do it. Just do it.
Take more photos.
Go out and do it.
Yeah.
Like every camera, when my camera's done, like the life cycle's over and I want to get rid of it, it has like 300 to 400,000 photos on it. And that's over like 3 years, maybe 2 years, 3 years. That's a lot of photos.
That's a lot of photos.
It's a lot of photos. You just have to, like, you got to go out and do it. And that's, to bring it back to car photography, there's a big problem with a lot of people shooting cars for free now. They borrow a car from a dealership, they shoot it for free, and then they give the photos to the dealership like no limited rights. They just, here's the photo, have fun with it. When you borrow a car or you do something like that, the benefit has to be for you to get better at the craft, not for you to meet new clients or hopefully make money down the line or so on and so forth. If you're borrowing a red car, for example, the benefit has to be in learning how to shoot a red car. Where does the light look best? Try it in a bunch of different scenarios. Don't drive it once, go home, brag about it, post on Instagram. You got to drive it like we did with the one that we borrowed.
Yeah.
Like every hour. You got to be just trying new things, learning. When you give the photos back to the client, there should be at least 2 or 3 different locations. Don't just shoot one location. Try different things and learn. That's a big problem I'm having.
Do you set the premise, like when you're borrowing it, or do they have requests?
My rule typically is if I'm asking, I will give them social media photos for free, but limited to social media.
Yeah, but like, do they say like, oh, we need this in a forest, or we need this card? Like, do they have
if they ask me that kind of stuff, I charge money for it.
Exactly.
So there's like, it varies.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will write them and be like, hey, I have this badass idea. Do you have a car available?
Yeah.
And then I'm in full control.
Yeah, exactly.
But other times they'll be like, hey, we have a car that we need like photos around the city of, or like we kind of want this vibe because we're going to push it this hard on social media. Then
that's a job.
That's a job. They have to pay for that.
Exactly. So should you work for free or not? I think that's where the line is drawn.
But you're not working for free. You're practicing.
Yeah. But you're getting something out of it.
Yes.
But if you come to them, you can't then ask for money as well.
Yeah.
But you're getting something out of it. You're in creative control.
Yes.
So either you have the creative control or you get paid.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's gray areas in between.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
If you're going to borrow a car and you're not going to get paid, you're there to practice. You're not doing free work.
But then you have to like set the premise as well, to be like, say to them is like, the second they start asking for stuff or asking specific locations or like get a model in, whatever.
Yes.
Then it's a job.
Yes. Then the moment it becomes an inconvenience for me.
Yeah.
And it takes time I didn't want to spend getting better at photography, then I need money.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to tell yourself, especially when you're young, because you think, and especially when there's 60 other guys doing it.
Yeah.
Because you think, if I ask for even just like 2,000 kroner to shoot a car for 24 hours and give them like 10 photos back. Like, that's not a good budget.
No.
That's not a good budget. And a lot of people need to hear that because people are scared to talk about budgets, but that's not good money. That needs to be, one, it needs to be paid for. Like you can't just like humble yourself and be like, well, okay, they're a bigger company than me and I'll just do this for free. One, you need to ask for money for that. And two, that needs to turn into something. And what was the original point I was going to make? I got lost.
About working for free and stuff. Like if they come to you or you come to them.
Yeah. And you need to be okay with the idea of them saying no.
Yeah.
That's also a scary thing. It's very like, this is what I was talking about. Sometimes these companies can be intimidating and you can see that if you ask for money, they might just turn to another guy for free. That's going to happen. It's going to happen. If you're at my level, if you're at like Oscar Bucke's level or like whoever pro photographer, we're all going through that. That's the thing. It's an opportunity cost, but you have to stand your ground and say, no. This is work for me. I got to get paid for this. And if they don't still come to you, then you need to look at your own photography and what can I do better and how do I make it valuable to them? Because if you see yourself as like someone who's going to work for free just to get more opportunity, they're going to see you as someone who's going to work for free.
Yeah.
If you know yourself as the free photographer, they also know you as the free photographer and you're not going to grow.
No.
So it's scary to lose clients just because you're going to ask for money, and Norwegians don't like to negotiate. So if you ask for like 8,000 for a shoot and they say like, well, what about 6? That's rare in Norway.
Yeah.
Most of the time they'll just turn away and they won't respond to your emails. Yeah. That's just the way it is.
I've gotten that a couple of times. They're like, that's too much. They're like, well, what do you have? I was like, it's too much. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. When you ask, okay, but what's your budget?
Yeah,
they just don't tell you anything.
Yeah, nothing.
All they know is what they don't like.
Yeah.
Is what it is. So it goes. You're going to lose that. Doesn't matter.
No.
You're going to see somebody do it for free. Let them do it for free. As long as you're working on bettering yourself and you know you're a better photographer, the work will come to you. But it is scary.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's like a fine line between.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't let it discourage you.
No.
It always does, but don't let it.
No. Keep going. But that's what I like about it. Is like the people who sort of like figure that out, they're all passionate.
Yeah.
That's what I enjoy about it. Like every single person we get in here, for an example, like every single photographer, they're passionate about what they do. Like they love it.
Yeah, especially to come in here and talk for like an hour and 2 hours, whatever it is. Yeah.
It's just fun.
Yeah. If you have that much to say about photography, I mean, it wasn't strictly about photography, but if you have that much to say about your passion, you're probably pretty passionate about it.
Yes.
Is there any new gear that you're really looking forward to? Anything coming up?
There's always something. I tried the R5C.
Yeah.
In Mallorca.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
That's like it's an insane hybrid camera.
Okay.
It does like 8K raw internal. It's like basically a cinema camera into like a stills body. Okay. I have it here actually.
Yeah. Kind of like the A1 almost. No, that thing's huge.
It's exactly like the A1 basically, yeah.
Whoa, this is massive.
Yeah. But if you compare it to a cinema camera, it's small. You know what I mean?
It's not that heavy. I thought it'd be heavier.
No.
So it's off video. Oh yeah, this is dope. So the on and off switch doesn't just turn on and off. You can either go off or photo or video.
Yeah, and if you do photo, you go into the photo menu. And
that's genius. That I wish Sony was doing.
Yeah.
But
so when you switch to video, you get like a cinema menu and cinema interface and stuff like that. And when you do photo, you get like a photo interface.
And that the trigger is red. That's also cool.
The trigger is red, exactly. So they basically, if you know the Canon C70, which is like a cinema camera, and the Canon R5, they've combined those two into like this smaller module.
Yeah, okay.
Which is really cool. And you can get like insane footage from it. And it's a really small package.
That's a good idea.
It's pretty cool.
But I'm a Sony man.
You're a Sony man. Yeah. But the A1 is still my favorite camera.
It's a fucking monster.
It's insane.
It's a monster. I have it with me somewhere, but yeah. I love that camera.
I used that at Norseman when I was there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fast.
Yeah. I had the A7 III as well with me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm just so used to having one stills and one video camera. I didn't use the A7S at all. I was like, the A1 does both amazingly. So I was like, why do I need two?
Oh yeah, yeah. As long as you're comfortable with switching back and forth.
Yeah,
it's so good.
yeah,
My filmer, he recently got the Ronin 4D.
yeah.
That thing is wild.
That looks insane.
That is a wild camera.
Yes.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Just handheld and you get smoother than you've ever imagined.
It's weird. It's
so
a weird
cool.
looking camera though.
It's a funny camera. Yeah. We put it on we mount it to cars and stuff.
Right.
Driving on the track at 150 kilometers an hour.
That's cool.
And you just see the camera head going crazy, but the footage is super still.
That's amazing.
Really impressive.
I want to try that camera one day.
It's fun. Yeah, we should. We should do a video about it.
We definitely should.
Yeah.
Because that's where that camera shines, doesn't it? And stuff like that.
Yeah. Motion.
Yeah.
And he has a screen with it, and the screen reaches 6 kilometers or something ridiculous. I don't remember what it is. So if we're shooting skiing, for example, he can just sit in the lodge and focus pull from the screen and all this, track, focus pull, and all I have to do is just carry it. So it's genius.
Do you become sort of are you afraid of the fact that we spoke about this last time as well, I think, about when the gear is so good.
Yeah. You
that
get lazy.
You get a bit lazy.
Yeah. That's why I don't own a 24-70.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because when you use that lens, I had an 85 with me as well, a prime lens, but I had a 24-70 with me in Mallorca. I just use that all the time.
Get lazy.
You get a bit lazy, and the autofocus on video is great. Everything is great. You just got to point the camera and press record.
Yeah.
And the camera does the rest.
Yeah. This 4D is a good example of that. The focus pulling, it has a LiDAR sensor, so you can see top down where the focus is pulling. It has a little map on the side of the camera. Wow. It's insane. And just things like that. You start to lose your eye visually. You start to just look at things as distance. It's really wild.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to worry about the ninja walk with the stabilizer anymore. You just walk normal. All these things are super convenient, but it has to make you a better filmmaker.
Yeah.
It can't just make your current level easier. It has to make you better.
I think it's great the fact that you can go out by yourself without a crew, knowing that you don't have to think about all the things you used to have to think about.
Yeah.
You can still get amazing footage.
Shoot 6K raw. Yeah. It's ridiculous. So you can fuck up so you can change the white balance afterwards. And
I spoke to, there was a couple of friends of mine. They've been shooting on reds for ages.
Yeah.
And I came with I think it was the R5 or something, and I showed it to them. And they were like, do we have to change the white balance before we shoot?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like,
Spoil.
Yeah. Do you not? He was like, I haven't done that in years.
Spoil. Okay, that's a problem though.
Yeah, it was the ISO and the white balance. It was it doesn't, when you're shooting raw, it was
you still have to set the white balance on.
Yeah, but he was he didn't really think about it as a thing to do.
Good enough.
Exactly. But he didn't see that as a thing. It's you got to remember to do that before you start shooting.
Yeah, you have to remind yourself that this is supposed to make you better.
Yeah.
And not just make your life easier.
Yeah. Not just make you lazier.
Yeah, the A1 shoots 30 frames a second in RAW.
Yeah.
I can't use that. One, it just takes up too much space.
Yeah.
And two, it's just going to make me lazy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have to worry about the moment. If a car is passing and I'm panning, I don't have to worry anymore about getting the right moment. I just shoot 30 frames and then pick it later.
Just hold it in.
Yeah.
It becomes kind of less fun as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A bit.
Yeah, unless you're really in need for it.
Yeah.
If you're a Olympic photographer or something.
Of course.
And you're shooting boxing and you just want that one moment where it's connecting.
Yeah.
Then I can see it just makes it more fun.
I saw a video of his name is Jared Polin Frodo or something like that.
Frodo Baggins. I think. Yeah, son of Bilbo.
There's a guy on YouTube and he's got a big afro. I think he's a photographer.
Yeah.
He shoots with Nikon. He shoots the Nikon Z9.
Yeah, his brand is built around the fro.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
He's got a big fro. That's and he loves raw. There's his t-shirts.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
What's his name?
I think it's Jared Polin Frodo Photo. He's something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, he shot with the A9, the Z9, the Nikon one, and it does 120 frames a second.
For stills?
Yes.
Why?
You lower down the resolution to a couple of megabytes, and you get 120 frames a second.
Why? Why do you want?
He said he did.
Things don't happen that fast.
Sometimes
nothing does.
He shot baseball.
Somebody hitting a baseball?
Someone hitting a baseball, and the bat cracked when it hit the baseball. And he got that shot exactly where the bat cracked.
That's cool.
And he was like,
yeah,
that's it. He got it. He was like the right spot, the right time with the right camera.
It's like a phantom. Right? It's like a phantom camera for stills.
But it's insane. Like, the problem is the fact that you end up with, if you use that too much, you end up with like thousands of pictures of basically the same picture.
How do you sort through that? How do you store that?
You got we did one event in London where we were shooting bicycles in what do you call indoor,
like a velodrome?
Yeah, velodrome. Yeah, we were in the velodrome and testing out basically how long can the buffer withstand it.
Yeah, you were there for that. Okay.
Yeah, so we just Eric, the guy, he just held in the shutter.
Yeah,
she was like, how long can we keep this going? How many seconds can we shoot 120 frames a second?
Too long. Longer than you need to.
He was like, yeah, but it was like, it just doesn't stop really. If you have a fast enough memory card, it just keeps going.
Yeah.
And I said to him, it's like, what are we going to do with all these pictures? Like nothing.
Yeah.
Just select one of them and delete the rest.
Massive storage racks.
Yeah. Just get rid of them because you don't really need them. Kaya, one of the people I used to work here, if she didn't like a photo, she would just delete it.
Always.
All yeah.
Ooh, I wouldn't do that.
From the drive, from the memory card, she would look at the photo while she was taking it. It was like, I don't like it, and delete it.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I was like,
I don't think it's possible for me
how
to
do you know like you're not gonna like it like
I have like half
tomorrow
of photos at home.
It's like I never delete anything. We had to go through the archives for this podcast because we're using 3 cameras.
Yeah.
Like the raw footage from 3 cameras.
Yeah.
It's like, do we need that? Really, do we need it?
The backups?
Yeah.
Do you?
And I was like, I don't know. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, all right, we got to clean them up because it was like terabytes.
I have a lot of hard drives at home that say otherwise.
Yeah.
Begging for me to delete things. What I've started doing now is I have one hard drive. I call it the Athlete. It's super small, 1 terabyte SSD.
Yeah. It's like the working.
Edit everything from that.
Yeah.
And when I'm transferring all the footage from that to backup storage, I will go through and be like, do I need it? Like for the YouTube stuff, for example.
Yeah.
I don't need that footage.
No.
Once it's up on YouTube, it's done to me.
I did that with, because I basically, it was like a vlogged the process of triathlon. Like especially at the beginning, I filmed more or less every session I did.
Yeah.
And I would film myself swimming like in the fjord. Like I would set the camera up. Not like I set it up exactly like just using one hand.
Yeah.
I've seen people do that and it looks impossible.
Yeah, this thing, man, this floats.
Yeah, it floats. Yeah.
This is the move. And you just
no, but it's like there's like an open pool basically just by our office in Oslo.
Yeah.
And I would just set up at the dock or like the pier and just set up the camera.
Yeah, that one.
And film the whole process, but it's like an hour-long footage.
Oh, Jesus.
It's like, do I need that now?
Yeah.
Like, do I need like a session of me swimming like a year ago?
Yeah.
And all you see is like just my head and some arms flailing around.
Definitely don't need that.
And I use 5 seconds of it just to be like, hey, I went swimming yesterday. That's it.
Yeah. Delete the rest.
Delete the rest. Because it's like
crazy.
20 gigabytes.
Sometimes imagine in the analog days. Imagine doing that with an analog camera. It's insane.
It'd be completely unnecessary.
Yeah. It's made us lazy. It has, hasn't it? Yeah.
It made us lazy.
But you should do like, Francis Bourgeois, isn't that his name? The train guy on Instagram. He loves trains. He's a nerd. He really loves trains.
I think I've seen it. He has a helmet. It was like a...
And it just sits here, the GoPro Max.
Yeah.
You should do that for the whole triathlon. I would watch the whole thing. I think it's so funny.
We actually spoke about it with Norseman people. Because like I said to them, it was like all their videos are made sort of like as festival videos, right? Festival films, like the sort of like
2-minute cut, high speed music.
Yeah, like super fast, like showing people like in struggle and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But I said to them, it's like I want to get into the mind of the person on the bike.
Yeah.
So we need to like have like just follow that one person, more like I said, more or less live, because you need to like they're there for like 14 hours.
Yeah.
Like I want to see not every minute of the 14 hours, but people who are really into this, like people like watch like the trains and the cruise ships, like minute after minute
Yeah.
just go by.
Yeah.
Let's try and replicate that, like on people doing Norseman.
Yeah. Show their mindset evolve, like their body language change.
And like that whole process, because then when you reach the finish, you sort of like get the feeling that they get of like actually like making it.
Yeah, there's a euphoria there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's see if we can do that.
That'd be fun.
In a triathlon. I'm doing one in Canada in July.
Okay.
Which is more kind of like...
You're running it?
Yeah, kind of similar to Norseman. It's called Canada Man. So they took Norseman and
cool name. Canada Man.
Canada
Isn't that
Man.
a superhero?
It could be.
Wasn't there a Canada Man? Maybe not. I feel like there was. That's
well,
pretty.
It could be. That's a good name.
He just apologizes for everything.
Sorry. Yeah.
Logs. He's a logger.
It's got syrup.
Chops with his bare hands. He doesn't need a chainsaw. Canada Man.
He's a mountain man.
I like it. Apparently he's a
Mountaineer.
triathlete too.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's it's basically a Norseman in Canada, more or less.
Yeah, okay.
Like, summed up. But like then because I don't mind having a GoPro on my bike. Some people do mind, which is why, they don't have that, as like a thing for a lot of the triathlons. But I'm going to like film the whole process.
That's going to be cool.
And like try and do like a...
Facing towards you or away from you?
Well, both. You can just put the GoPro Max on it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And try and like sort of like voice over a bit and explain like what's going through my head. Not for like... For me as well, to look back at it like after a year, to be like, okay, because once you're in it, you sort of don't like take time to reflect on what you're actually doing. Mm-hmm. Like the triathlon I did this weekend, I kind of don't remember much of it. Because everything is just happening. You're thinking forward. You're not thinking about what you're actually
doing. Just a blur?
Yeah, it's kind of like a blur. Like the run, it's like, I don't remember much of it. Like when you finish, they just like give you a medal and it's like, okay, go away. There's more people coming. You need to clear the space. And then like you're just standing on the beach. It's like, what did I just do? This is weird.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you're just done.
What now?
Yeah, it's weird.
Where do I run to now?
But it's like if you have that footage, like the sort of like live footage of you doing it and you're trying to sort of like talk to the camera about what's happening.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
I think that'd be interesting for people who's into triathlon.
Super interesting.
It'd be really interesting for everyone else.
Yeah.
But it'd be kind of interesting for someone who wants to...
Yeah, but I mean, long form content is cool. I think a lot of people are into it.
Imagine like an hour footage of me just riding my bike through Canada.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool.
I think it'd be dope.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, people watch weirder stuff.
But it's like, it's more or less, I make like the videos that I do make, I kind of make them more for me than anyone else.
Yeah.
To see the process.
Yeah, okay.
So I can look back in a year and be like, oh yeah, I actually filmed all that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool, I think.
That's the move.
Yeah.
You want to remember these things, man.
Exactly.
How long have we been going? This is a good one.
Hour and a half, I think.
Hour and a half?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice.
Not exactly Joe Rogan time, but we're getting there.
No. But
3-4 hours, man, that's mental.
We'll get there.
The fact that he's doing that is crazy.
We should do one.
Definitely.
We should do it. We should have like beers and some food and do like a evening one.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
100%.
We should get a few guys though.
Yeah.
A couple other photographers and just stack the table.
Let's do it, man.
And then debate.
That's why we got the big table.
Yeah, okay.
The more the merrier.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's get 2 other guys and let's talk about something goofy.
Get some pizza. Get some...
Yeah. I'm trying to cut now. And I'm fasting in the mornings. So after like 3 o'clock, I can start eating, and it's just not fun. I'm sure there's a lot of noises you heard in the mic of just like my body readjusting.
I wouldn't survive a day doing that.
Yeah, but you use it. Like you use calories a lot.
Yeah.
Now, like I'm not working out too much at all. I'm just trying to shed fat.
See, I have the opposite problem.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter how much I eat, I'm still dropping.
Yeah, those were the days.
It's not a problem. I know the fact that it's not a problem.
Yeah.
But in terms of performance, it can be.
Yeah, okay.
If you're becoming too shredded, you lose performance.
There's no reserves for your body.
Nothing.
To eat.
You got nothing left.
Yeah.
And in Mallorca, we just had to you do something called carb loading.
Yep.
Basically eat a lot of pasta or pizza, whatever.
A lot of people's every day.
Yeah. You just, you eat tons and tons of food 2 days before the actual event to store up some carbs, because that's what your energy is using as fuel.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of carbs. And you're just loading up. And then the day after, 2-3 days after as well, you got to get back all the calories you lost during the triathlon.
I'm so jealous.
So you spend a week at it, like you spend 2 days eating, relaxing, doing nothing,
Yeah.
do the triathlon, and then 3 days after eating and relaxing as well.
Yeah. Fuck.
You can
I
just
was
eat
gaining during winter. I was specifically trying to gain weight. And
yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. It's the
It was
best.
so good.
It's the best thing.
It sucked at times, like forcing yourself to eat, but man, that's
Sometimes you
I
get
miss
just
that.
pancakes for breakfast, whatever.
yeah.
Just like 4 or 5 eggs.
Stack it in.
Yeah.
Protein
Just
everywhere.
get it in. Doesn't matter.
Ah,
It's
yeah.
the best.
Anyway,
We
I
should
gotta
get
eat
some
before
lunch
I
then.
die. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, man.
This was awesome.
This is fun. We got to do this more often.
Yes.
Not once every 5 years.
No. More often. 100%. All right. That's it. Let's get some lunch.
Sweet.